Chef Will.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to In the Spotlight. We are here for another week, another edition of Kerry Douglas Presents In the Spotlight. Listen, everybody, I need you to tag somebody. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Do whatever you got to do. But make sure you tell everybody that In the Spotlight is on tonight. Listen, we have so many amazing artists who will grace this platform tonight. You do not want to miss this. A couple of housekeeping rules. Listen, make sure you guys text gospel to 39970 so you can be on the A-list. That is 39970. Listen, don't you want to be a part of the A-list so you can get the latest on the updates and the news and all that good stuff concerning gospel and your favorite gospel artists? Go ahead. Text gospel to 39970 so you can get on the A-list. I see everybody coming on in. While you're doing that, put your city in the chat. Make sure we know where you are listening from. Tonight is going digital. Listen, I need you to go ahead, tag everybody. Come on, keep on doing it. I see you on this Friday night. Now listen, if you don't do it, I want to put a red flag by your name. It's gonna be flag. Go ahead. And go ahead, tag somebody. Listen, the boss man, the CEO, the visionary Kerry Douglas has a compilation project out right now. And I think you need to go ahead and, you know what? I'm going to be quiet. Go ahead. Let this be do the talking.
Kerry Douglas presents. Let's go. It's the Gospel Mix Volume 11 compilation CD. 18 tracks of the biggest radio hits of 2020, like the award-winning Pastor Mike Jr., Demetrius West, plus #1 songs from Ernest Pugh and Zacardi Cortez. Also, hear the classics like Greg O'Quinn and Joyful Noise, Ted and Sherry, and new music that moves your soul. Algernon Wright, Created to Win. Plus, Angela Wilson featuring Molly Music, Winner, and you heard it here first. What will be one of the biggest praise and worship songs of 2021? Lachey Knox, God of Miracles. Kerry Douglas presents Gospel Mix 11. Available in stores and on all digital outlets now. Text gospel to 33970 for music, giveaways, and exclusive content.
Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to In the Spotlight. Listen, we have the Karima interview coming up next, so you do not want to miss that. A couple of housekeeping rules. Listen, you know we got some announcements. I feel like we back at the church house when they say these are our announcements. Listen, everybody, tomorrow, if you are in South Carolina, make sure you get to the 13th annual Shout Fest. That is right, October the 16th. You do not want to miss that. It will feature Kalante Gavin, Monica Lisa Stevenson, Paul Porter, Ernest Pugh, Jason Nelson, Melvin Crispell III, the Walls Group, so many names, Vincent Bohannon. You guys do not want to miss that. It will be in Aiken, South Carolina. That is 700 McHenry Holland Drive, Aiken, South Carolina 29801. So you guys do not want to miss that. It's the 13th annual Shout Fest. Guess what? Pastor Mike Jr. will be there as well. This is going to be big. Like what I did right there. Y'all, make sure you get to Aiken, South Carolina for the 13th annual Shout Fest. You might want to get there early because with the names that I just said, I'm pretty sure they're gonna take up the whole parking. I don't know. I'm just saying. I just want to help you guys out. Make sure you get to that Shout Fest tomorrow in Aiken, South Carolina. Hey guys, listen, Gospel Mix is coming out with a Christmas compilation CD. Yes, you heard me right. Gospel Mix Christmas. You do not want to miss this. Pre-orders are on now. They are right now ready for sale. You can pre-order it today. So make sure you pre-order that Gospel Mix Christmas CD. Listen, we want to say congrats to our own Monica Lisa Stevenson. She went to the Avidity Awards and won not one, not two, but 3 awards. So we got to say congratulations to Monica Lisa Stevenson on all her accomplishments. She is having an awesome year, a big year, and the Lord is continuing to bless her. Shout outs to Monica Lisa Stevenson and the team. Listen, they are doing big things, so congratulations to her. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Listen, make sure you go ahead and pre-order Algernon Wright's new project, Algernon Wright and Triumphant Praise with Heart and Soul. October 29th, it will be available. October 29th, so you guys do not want to miss that. Make sure you pre-order Algernon Wright's new project, Heart and Soul. It is sure to bless your life. Welcome back, everybody. Listen, I'm not even going to believe it. The hour, that's real churchy right there for all the churchy saints in the comments. Listen, let's go ahead and get into our first interview. Here's our interview with Paul Turner right here on In the Spotlight. Let's do this.
Privilege night to have Paul Turner. He is the visionary and overseer over CMI Creation Ministries Incorporated. They are featured on Kerry Douglas Gospel Mix Christmas. Their song is Jesus Celebration. Paul, welcome to In the Spotlight with Kerry Douglas.
Oh, I'm glad to be a part of the telecast tonight.
We're very happy to have you. Please, by all means, for the audience that does not know a little bit about you, tell us about your backgrounds and your beginnings in gospel music.
Well, I started out as a musician for Union Hill Missionary Baptist Church in the proud, great pastor, Reverend August Minor. Lived in Chicago all of my life. That's where I got my background and my start from was Chicago. I grew up listening to Milton Bronson and the Thompson Community Choir. Also was a big fan of Thomas Whitfield, Rudolph Stanfield, all of the people who came under the umbrella of Thomas Whitfield, such as Yolanda Adams and Vanessa Bell, just great artists that he produced and was writers of some great songs. Of course, the great heritage of James Cleveland and Albertina Walker, who all somewhat had their affiliation with Chicago. So I'm quite rounded in gospel and contemporary and traditional gospel. Creation was started as a base of just looking at all of the great things that we had seen from the Thompson Community Choirs and such people of that sort.
That's interesting. So would you define or classify your style as traditional with contemporary flair? How would you describe it?
Actually, you hit it right on the head. It's contemporary with traditional flavor, keeping everything in tune with how they used to do church, but just updating it just a little bit. Keeping the 3-part and sometimes 4-part harmony alive in the church. Music sometimes has changed. I'm not going to say for the worse or better or worse, but it's changed a lot with praise and worship. But choirs are still significant, and I just try to keep that foundation solid.
The choir has a unique and robust sound. Or share with our audience how you're able to get such a rounded sound from I don't want to say small, but it's a medium-sized capacity group.
Well, ironically, when we started singing back in '86, most of the people who participated in creation at the time came from smaller churches, no mics, a few singers. And when you start getting singers like that, they already have such a robust sound because they're used to singing by themselves. And you put 2 or 3, 4 or 5 of those in the alto section and the soprano section, and you start teaching tone and diction, it just changes the way it's heard. So we've always had no more than 25, 30. We've gotten larger numbers at times, but really it's always been around 25, 30. And we're able to maintain a big sound due to the people come from those smaller backgrounds.
The sound is unique and rich, and again, it's very individual. So that's something that is akin to CMI, and that's Pretty good. Tell us a little bit about Jesus Celebration. How did you all come upon the song?
Well, we were actually preparing a CD, and a young man, named Joe, taught the song to the choir. And from the very beginning, when the song was taught, the choir had this flair for the song. They just enjoyed the song from the beginning. And we were having trouble trying to find a significant lead. And one of my choir members suggested that we use Angie Spivey, who happens to be my MD. And we gave that song to Angie, and it just took a whole nother level. Angie's such a prolific singer, and to be talented in so many areas as a pastor, director, actually teaches her own church choir times and everything else. She was just an enhancement for this whole song of Jesus, Jesus.
It is indeed a great song. And of course, you know that this is Kerry Douglas's first gospel mixed Christmas compilation. So I guess you should share your thoughts of how you feel about being on the inaugural Christmas celebration CD.
Well, I'm almost outdone because coming from Chicago and having someone like Kerry Douglas, and ironically, years ago, I reached out to Kerry. He never responded to any of my emails and anything else. And so to have the opportunity to work with such a trailblazer, a leader in the industry, and not just because it's a Black-owned label, but the fact that it's a label that is prospering in this day and age where most labels are just shipping out any type of music, is great to be under his leadership.
That's fantastic. Tell us what the future holds for Paul Turner and CMI.
Well, the future holds that we're going to keep singing. We're going to do a CD, and preferably, and it will be under the leadership of Kerry Douglas and Black Smoke. That's what we anticipate doing, and moving forward in the gospel industry. We want to put our landmark from Chicago, have another staple such as Ricky Dillon and the New G and Milton Bronson and Thompson Community Choir, make Chicago proud again.
Very nice. Paul, tell us where we can find you on social media.
You can find me on, of course, Facebook under Paul Turner and CMI, or my personal page, Paul Turner. You can also find me on Instagram, and we'll have that information listed.
Hey, let's get into some of that new music right here by Paul Turner, right here on Kerry Douglas Presents in the Spotlight. On behalf of everybody here on In the Spotlight and Black Smoke, we want to send our heartfelt condolences to the family of Shawn Mclemore. He was on hits such as I Believe with James Fortune and Zacardi Cortez, and another hit like Sunday Morning, which will eventually play on this show. We want to say our condolences are with his family, friends, all the colleagues who are associated with him. We want to dedicate this show to Shawn Mclemore.
We gonna go back again. You may see nobody's bothering me. Oh Lord, you may see me. Nobody's chasing me. Y'all know what it was. It was the Holy Ghost. Holy Ghost, yeah, yeah. Burning me. It ain't nothing. Boy, y'all singing in here. Hey, Lord. Brandon, let's go on and go to church right here. On Sunday morning, my life was changed. I felt something wrong. Running in my veins. I started making my way down toward the altar, yeah. Tears were running down my face on Sunday morning. I got saved, I got healed, I got delivered. God set me free, changed my walk, changed my talk, taught me how to pray each and every day. Learn how to dance, learn how to shout, learn how to praise and worship with my mouth. I gave the preacher my hand, I gave God my...
You guys are in for a treat. Listen, let's go ahead and stay in Philly real quick when we go and catch up with none other than Zach Williams and One Accord right here on In the Spotlight.
All right, we're pleased to have some music makers and innovators and shakers with us this evening on In the Spotlight with Kerry Douglas. Of course, Zach Williams is no stranger to us. He's been with us before, but tonight we are pleased to have the vice president of the Enam Music Group in the person of Garland Michi Waller. So, gentlemen, welcome to In the Spotlight Night with Kerry Douglas. We're very glad to have you.
Hey. What's going on? Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Zach, we'll start with you. Of course, since we last had conversation, you have released a new single, which is taking radio by storm. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yes, sir. Glad to be back. The new single is called Jehovah Jireh. It's like a one-liner. You know how we used to do back in the day. Actually, the song is actually a remake of a song that I did a long, long time ago when I first got started, when I had my first choir, Hype Praise, back in like the early 90s. So the song was about 25 years old. Jehovah Jireh, my provider, that's what he is to me. That's a very, song that's special to me. It was written by my big brother, the late Kevin Pringle. He was a local Philly legend here in our area. And we kind of like spiced it up and put it back out. And it was a popular song in Philly for a long time. And we kind of revisited it. It's one of those situations where we revisited it. And it's like, you know what? I think we need to put this out. I played it for Michi, and, you know, of course he was on it. And the rest is history. And it's doing very, very well. I'm actually surprised at how well it's doing because, you know, it was an older song. But it has a strong message, and it's one of those things because, you know, it's has a nice little groove to it. It's a punch to the song. So yeah, that's it.
Well, I think it also goes to show you that great music doesn't have an expiration date. So no matter what variations it takes on, a great song is a great song. But of course, Zach, you exemplify that in all of the music that you do. And the little birdie told us that you have a recording coming up in November.
Absolutely, it's going down, man. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. I guess one of the things that I wanted to accomplish in my career was to be able to um, have a reputation of putting out good music, good choir music. Um, so I appreciate that. But yep, November the 27th is going down. I don't know what we're gonna call it yet because I'm still trying to figure that part out. But we back again, the 27th, and it's going to be in Philadelphia. I am so excited about it. These songs, listen, bro. Let me tell you something. These songs on this project, whew, you might want to be there. You might want to be there because rehearsal on this past Monday night, if that's any indication of what's going to happen on the 27th, we're going to have problems because, you know, it's just going to be a great night. I'm so excited about it.
So I guess now would not be the right time to ask what's your favorite song from the project. I guess I shouldn't do that now, right?
What of this new project?
Yeah.
You know, I can't tell you, man. I can't tell you because it's like, okay, I'll preface it this way. The best part of the session for me is going to be the second half. Because the second half, I'm going back in my bag and I'm pulling out some one accord classics that we never really did anything with. And I'm excited to be able to revisit those songs. So I don't really have a favorite yet because when I think I have a favorite, something else pops up. But I'm gonna tell you two songs to look out for on this next record. One song that's called Hosanna. Look out for that one because that song is special. And there's another song that we just introduced on Friday, which completely destroyed my rehearsal. It's called I Can.
Wow.
And it's kind of a churchy song. And the basic summation of the song is I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. And then there's a strong drive on two words, all things. And that's kind of like where we got tore up on Monday because I can equate that to the last two and a half years or so that we've been, you know, in this pandemic. And I said that, you know, even in the midst of the pandemic, we've been able to survive. We've been able to do all things. We've been able to work. We've been able to pivot as far as ministry is concerned. We've been able to pivot as far as a choir and, you know, doing engagements. And we've been able to pivot as far as our survival, you know. So the word I can do all things, whew, when you hear that, those are two songs that are, I don't want to take a whole lot of time with that, but those are two songs that I would look forward to.
That was a churchy segue, Zach. I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's all I got. I'm church. I ain't got nothing else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Garland, let's move over to you. Of course, we have known you and wearing many hats, of course, as a Piece de Resistance instrumentalist, keyboard player, songwriter, producer. And now, of course, you're moving into patriarchal type situation, and that you are affording the opportunity to artists to spread their wings and grow and fly. What does that feel like?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me tonight. You said a whole mouthful of things. For me, because I've seen so many people do it the wrong way, and you know, during my days with Pastor John B. Key, I had the privilege of sitting in some of those meetings and seeing how some things operate, seeing some things to do, some things not to do. And I just wanted to afford people the opportunity to try to get it right and do it right. And So that's my heart. I mean, because somebody gave me a chance when I was younger, back in my teenage years. I mean, I'm not there anymore, but in my teenage years, someone gave me a chance, and so I always wanted to make sure that I gave others a chance and the chance to do it right and try to be successful. So that's basically where I am with transitioning from the musician, writer, producer to industry exec, so to speak.
Absolutely. And EMG is not short stopping. I often refer to you as the little engine that could. You know, Zach is Stellar nominated. And of course, there's Sam Franklin, who was nominated for a Dove Award. So EMG is holding its own. Now, if I were to ask you what was your favorite Zach Williams song, what could you tell me? And I think I know the answer to this, but by all means, go ahead. I mean, this is current album and then from the new material.
Well, the past album, the next chapter, Zach already knows this. When I first heard the song, I said, "That's my song. I love that song right there." The song was "He Reigns." I love that song. That our God is holy and He reigns forevermore. And I believe that in my heart. Our God is awesome. Our God is mighty. All of those things. And that was my song. Now, from the last project, but this project, as Zach said, and I just want to reiterate, it's so many, it's hard to pick. It's hard to pick from. There's so many good songs. I mean, I think if I had to right now, I think it would probably be that Hosanna song that they're going to do. And I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the choir. I love them dearly. I feel like, you know, I feel like the proud papa watching everything going down. You know, they have a term of endearment for me. They call me Father Michi, and I love it. I love it where most people probably would get offended, you know, for being old or whatever. But I appreciate it. I love them. They know I love them. I love Zach. I mean, and me and Zach go back so far to the point. I mean, we probably done told this story 32 times or more. But Zach let me hold a keyboard like 20 something years ago. And I kept the keyboard. I never gave it back. And when I came back to Philly, I said, you know what, I've got something of yours. And came over to the house and I had it sitting out for him and everything. He was like, oh my God, that's my keyboard. I said, yeah, that's it. That's it right there. So we got so much history, but even in that time, we never stopped caring about each other and never stopped being brothers. He the big little brother because he's bigger than me, but I'm the oldest. So, but yeah, this record is going to be amazing. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for what Jehovah Jireh is doing right now. I even got a privilege. Guess what? He even let me teach a song on this record. So I'm happy about that too. So to be able to share with my brother, I'm happy. But if I had to pick a song right now, that Hosanna song is tremendous. So
Wow, we're going to look forward to hearing that. And of course, Garland, you're not, again, resting on your laurels. You also have new music out in the marketplace, not under your name per se, but your composition is making the rounds. Tell us a little bit about your song.
Yeah, I got, I wrote this song called I.O. Maybe almost 10 years ago now. And it was a song I taught down in Charlotte to New Life church choir when I was down with Pastor John B. Key for all of those years. And I taught it in the church choir, and it was just saying that I owe God everything. I owe him my life. And so Kevin Lemons heard the song, and he asked me, he was like, can I record it? I said, sure. Sure, and then they told me that it was one of the premiere songs on the record. Zach had a chance to go down and he had to record, and I didn't get a chance to go. But Zach went. They said, "Man, your song is good." And hey, it is what it is. I'm happy to have the opportunity to, write for some other people and have some song placements. It's about songwriting, for me. I don't just sit down and write. Things have to happen for me to do that. But I enjoy doing it, and because I enjoy lyrical content, and so things have to make sense for me. I'm not one of those writers that say on Wednesday is going to be a writing day. I can't do that. God has to really speak to me, and once He starts, I can do it and take it from there. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Io is a great song. When Kevin and the group came to the studio, that's one of the songs that they did. So we instantly fell in love with it. A great song, a great song. All right, Zach, we're almost done. We always talk history, and I appreciate your appreciation of history, Zach. We often miss the people who were the foundation, lay the foundation for us. So I wanted you to share a little bit about working with Reverend Ernest Davis and Wilmington Chester and how that had an impact on what you do today.
Wow. If those that know me know that Wilmington Chester is my favorite choir. Period. That was the mode for me growing up, watching Reverend Davis, Willis, Ron, Howard. That whole dynamic. Watching Reverend Davis with the choir, how he had. I was mesmerized and very intrigued with how one person had control of 100 some odd people with just two hands. How I think, back at that time, there was no other choir more disciplined than the Wilmington Chester Mass Choir. And I know that's a broad statement, but I believe it's a very accurate statement. Because I watched them in concert with Milton Bronson. I watched them in concert on the same program with Mississippi Mass and Georgia Mass, all those choirs, and nothing against none of them because I love all of them. All of them together, make up what choir music is and what choir music should be. Mm-hmm. And I believe that some of the choirs have veered off from the standard. That's neither here nor there. But Reverend Davis and Wilmington Chester, to me, that was my, I wanted that. I wanted to be what Reverend Davis was, because he was a musical genius, and how he guided that choir, how he whipped that choir together, and how he worked those songs. So I wanted to be able to do that, and to be able to watch him all of those years, and then in my later years, be a part of it and play for them, and then to be a producer, on their last project, that was, I can't even explain, that process. But yeah, Wilmington Chester for me would be my greatest inspiration. Absolutely.
All right, same for you, Garland. Do you want to talk about your greatest inspiration?
That depends on what you think my greatest inspiration is.
No, it's not my thought. This is
that,
you.
That is a loaded question.
Right. But I mean, everybody knows. I'm a John B. Key descendant. So, but before that, I had the privilege of being here in Philadelphia. We started out with the Philadelphia Youth Mass Choir. That was a choir outside of the choir of the Philadelphia Mass Choir. We were the children of most of those people. And so we had 300, almost 300 kids singing, and having the opportunity to be a part of the GMWA. That's where I met Pastor John McKee at the age of 14, and then fast forwarding to age 20 is when I left Philadelphia to be with him for over 27 years, 25 years, something like that. So he definitely had the biggest influence from a musical perspective. I love the way he did what he did in terms of writing. And it was a different energy that really, really kind of caught me, you know, how he produced things. And back then, a lot of people weren't doing the horns and keyboards and all of that kind of stuff. And so it just kind of took me, it kind of overwhelmed me. And I was like, this was like a kid in a candy store saying, okay, I can do that. I can do that. So his influence, even from a writing perspective, I got pieces that sound like something he would write, you know, in certain areas. But he would definitely be the influence, you know, just that whole walk by faith, show up, Jesus real, all of that stuff. It kind of was embedded in me, you know. And so it was like energy against energy, with, you know, with me and him. And we still talk. I love him to this day. You know, still do a little bit of work together, those things. And so, but more than anything, he actually took me as a young kid, put me under his wing, and treated me like a son. You know, like a real son to him. And so, more than the music piece, I learned really a lot of things about being a man while being there, and how important it was to, you know, take care of your family, how important it was to make sure you kept a covering over you in a spiritual perspective. So he would be the influence, absolutely. But you know, in my earlier years, there was a man named Edwin Newberry who took me everywhere with him. People don't talk about him as much as I think they should, but he was a legend here in Philadelphia also, with the legendary Newberry Singers, and he was part of the Mass Choir at Philly Mass, and he was over the Philly Youth Mass Choir. But he took me everywhere as a kid. I mean, literally everywhere. I mean, I played in the Baptist, the Kojic, the Presbyterian, Catholic, anywhere he had the job, I played piano for him. So they're two influences, Edwin Newberry in my earlier years, and absolutely Pastor John McKee in my life.
Fantastic. Guys, we're almost done. I just need to get social media tags from you. Where can we find you? We'll start with you, Zach, on social media when we want to keep up with you.
Instagram, Zach Will Music, and same on Facebook, Zach Williams page 1, or just simply Zach Williams. And I answer all of my messages. It may take me a minute to respond, but I do respond to all of my messages.
Fantastic. Same for you, Garland.
You can find me on Garland Michiwala Official on Facebook, and then on Instagram and Twitter at GMichi1, also at Enon Music Group, at Enon Music, on Enon_music on Instagram, and same thing for Twitter. But Enon Music on Instagram and Enon_music on Twitter.
Guys, I have the pleasure, the wonderful opportunity of introducing Zach Williams' new single. Zach Williams and One Accord new single, Jehovah Jireh, right here on In the Spotlight.
Say that's what he is.
That's what he is to me.
Jehovah Jireh. That's it. I know y'all grooving out there. That's what he is. Come on.
That's what he is to me.
Jehovah
Jireh, my provider.
That's what he is.
That's what he is to me.
Jehovah
Jireh, my provider.
privilege and honor of talking with the wonderful Karima, and this is such a great opportunity. So, Karima, welcome. We're so very happy to have you.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is an amazing opportunity. I'm very happy to be here.
Absolutely. Of course, being a Virtue fan, I think that I'm very excited and so many things, of course, that we want to talk about. But let's start with you and the pandemic. Tell us how the pandemic has had an impact, good, bad, and indifferent, and what valuable takeaways you have been able to put into practice.
Well, quiet, being in, I don't want to say solitude because I live alone. I have a
Okay.
16-year-old and, she's back and forth between her dad and my house. But before the pandemic hit, I was used to, like, God had already settled me. So I was okay. I miss my family only because I'm only 3 hours away from two sisters, so I can get in the car and drive. But other than that, God really placed upon my heart to be still and to concentrate and focus on what he wanted me to do as an artist, because I was working as a design consultant at like a huge, well-known brand store. And it was so much fun. It was amazing. And then we shut down and then we reopened and I went back and I just started praying. Even during the pandemic, I was praying and asking God for new direction and for new focus. And in that time, I would walk these hallways, these long hallways at work. And I was just praying and asking God to just open whatever door he could open. And I'm going to walk through it. Career-wise, my music, because I miss singing. I was fulfilled, but I wasn't fulfilled in my purpose. And I know my purpose is to sing. I've been singing since I was 8 years old, not professionally, however, but probably 4 years old in choirs. But I realized I had a love for singing at the age of 8. And so I know when you ask God for something, you have to believe that it's going to come to fruition. All he wants you to do is believe. And so I just had this urge to say out loud, January 2020, God, I'm not going back to that job. You're going to have to open up doors. That was in August. By October, I had reached out. At the end of August, I reached out to my writing partner and we wrote a song and I drove to Atlanta, got it all done. And, I didn't know how I was going to get the music out. I just was trying to walk in my purpose, walk in the calling God had given me. And when you do that, he does the rest, right? So after that, I was like, okay, I don't know what to do with my music. I don't know how to get it out. I don't have a record label. I don't have a record deal. I don't have the means to get it out, but the platform. So I was learning the new ways of doing things. And in the midst of that, I noticed Juan and Lisa Winans. They had a song out called It Belongs to Me. And I loved the song. I sang it. It made me cry. It made me feel all kinds of great things about, my future was bright because everything we want, it belongs to God. We just have to ask and believe. And so I'm paying attention to the song, but I'm also paying attention to who did their packaging. And I'm like, why am I paying attention to that? And so I just started praying, like, look, Lord, whoever did their stuff, that's what I need. I need for that label. Seriously, I need whoever did their stuff. That's what I want my stuff to look like and sound like. It was quality, the looks of it, everything an artist would want, right? Well, I know that I would want. And so by October, about the end of October, I prayed that prayer again. And I promise you, in 10 minutes, I checked my Instagram DM messages, and I had a message from the CEO, Michael Anthony Taylor, who I knew previously as a producer because he had worked with Virtue back in the day, like 20 years ago. But I didn't know that he was the CEO of the label that Juan and Lisa Winans were on. And I was like, this is crazy. So when he reached out, he literally asked me what I was doing. He said, I've been following you. He said, there's a light on your page. Are you still singing? And I was like, surely he's heard, snippets of what I put out on my Instagram, social media, and he hadn't heard anything. He said that he felt led to reach out to me. And I know that was nothing but God answering prayers. So long story short, by December, I was signed to Dear Records. So the pandemic wasn't a complete upside down flip for me like it was for a lot of people. And I am so grateful that in the stillness, he provided us to just stop and pay attention, to what he wanted. I was able to do what he asked me to do. And that was pray the prayer that I prayed and believed. And so as a result, Redeemer, Redeemer was birthed. And so I'm looking at this song as early as this morning. I got a text that I'm in the top 20 on the charts, on the Billboard charts. And I'm just like, wow, God, I've been in the top 30 for the last probably, I don't know, feels like maybe 16 weeks or so. But to even live in the top 30 is amazing, because there's so much new music coming out. But I'm like, God, all right, well, you got me at number, what? I'm almost 15 now. I'm believing a number 1. So that's where I am with pandemic and being able to flip what was meant for our bad for my good or for my bad to be my good. So I'm just grateful. And I had COVID. I caught COVID in January. And that was the turning point of me not physically going back to work. So I prayed that I didn't want to go back. Now, I don't think God gave me COVID, but it was a wake up like, you said you didn't want to go back. This is your opportunity not to go back. And I didn't go back. I haven't worked since January, and God has just been blessing and providing. So that's where I am.
Kerry,
Amazingness.
what a phenomenal testimony. The Bible says that we're overcomers by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And I believe that God calls us and equips us so that we'll be able to encourage and strengthen our brothers and sisters. I want to talk about your appearance at the Hollywood Bowl. And again, Redeemer is such a unique song. I come from a Pentecostal background. So when I hear Redeemer, I say that we walk the dog and visit the postman. So, it's like, because the song has such a powerful message. I mean, you think about the message of the song, I know, which means that I have the confidence and the assurance.
Let me tell you.
Redeemer lives. Yes. So
let me tell you, Redeemer is not just a song, like you're saying. It is literally my testimony. I have goosebumps every time I talk about it, because this great being that we serve, like, when you think about the words of the song, when you see all the beauty that he's created, and even in our own selves, he created us. This is who I have to lean on, for any and everything. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't anybody believe that we have a Redeemer? And to know that he has saved me time and time and time again. Like, I mean, it has been so many different instances where I can just recall the hand of God himself just moving in my life. And this particular song, I'm gonna tell you how God is just so strategic in the way that he wants things to happen. And he is like the orchestrator of the life, like everything. The way that he had me listen to Redeemer, because I loved it. It was a favorite song of mine. Every now and again, I would just play Nicole C. Mullins' version of it, because it just reminded me of who this great God is, my Redeemer. Anything I needed, it was there, it was provided. And so I listened to this song probably, I don't know, a week or two prior to me even having a conversation about doing it. And I shouldn't say God placed it on my heart, because that's what he wanted me to do. And it was going to be for such a time as this, where people are going through all kinds of mayhem and crap. The entire world is flipped upside down. He still wants us to know that he is alive. He wants to save us, and he will. So that alone, the words, I'm just so taken aback by it. It just, when I hear it, I just cry. It moves me in such a way. And that's how it got to D-Nice, Derek Jones. I had started going to his club Quarantine, during the pandemic. It was something fun to do. I heard of him, but didn't know him, and so we became friends. Like, he makes everybody feel like you're his friend, and he was such a kind person, and so we connected in a way where I was able to share Redeemer with him in February when it was done. I had no idea that he would play it in Club Quarantine. I just, he's musically inclined. He loves music. I'm like, let D Nice listen to my music. This is great. And so he texted and he said, Karima, what a song. And that's kind of it. And then when it came out, it was in April, it came out, and he played it in Club Quarantine. And he was blown away. I guess it took him like hearing it like live like that in his own space. And he introduced it to so many people. And he gave me a ton of followers too that had never heard about the song, that may not even know Jesus. You know what I mean? So I could have not ever expected that he would play the song, and he would play it repeatedly, not just one or two times. He would play it sometimes 3 and 4 times in one set of his, of him being on, because it's that moving to him and how it made him feel closer to God. And I was just like, wow, God, because I asked God, could you do something different this time? I want something so different. I want people to be reached that I would never imagine reaching. And this is what he did. And so when Derek started announcing or manifesting that he could see his Club Quarantine going live, he started doing like praise and worship on Sunday. And that's how he played the song, because he did have praise and worship on Sundays. And sometimes he would play it even not in his praise and worship. He would just feel it, and he just like, I got to play this song because it's just that moving to him. And he called me out of the blue and he said, I would like for you to perform at the Hollywood Bowl. I was like, really? Because I was gonna go and support him anyways, because I've been a part of his whole circle and community for over a year, and I'm like, there's no way I'm not gonna not go to the first one and celebrate with everybody. This is major. And so he was like, we need you to sing. So not only did I sing, I opened his entire show. I opened at the Hollywood Bowl for the first Quarantine Live, and when I tell you, walking across that stage, seeing almost 19,000 people that loved my song because this man loved the song and played it, is surreal. It's still, and I didn't realize how many people had never played on the Hollywood Bowl stage. And here I am, back new on the scene, asking God to do something different, not realizing how different it was gonna be. He just blows your mind, like full blown capacity, just like, wow, what else do you have for me, God? So I just believe that this is just the beginning, of what I'm going to experience with the powerful message behind Redeemer. And I look forward to it. I don't even know what else to ask for except just keep doing it. God, just keep doing it. Keep it going. Let it just do things that are just like people that thoughts or can't even think about it. Like, just do it, Lord. And that's what he's doing. He is really blessing, and he's using Redeemer and myself as a vessel. And I told him, whatever I needed to do, I will do it. I will do it. I don't care how crazy I looked. I don't care what people say. I don't care how it comes across, as long as it comes across the way God wants it to. I'm fine. I'm completely fine. But that was a moment in time where I will never, ever forget it. And I praise God for a supportive family. My sisters flew in and surprised me. And I had a friend there that came with me from here. And it was just an amazing time sharing a stage with so many legends, living legends, that is. And, Erica Campbell and Charles Jenkins was a part of a segment that I did. I opened the show, but opened the gospel segment. He opened with praise and worship, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. So,
I mean, just phenomenal. I'm over here floored. I had to mute my mic so that I wouldn't be screaming back at you. But yeah, it's one of those things. Karima, again, talk about virtue again. I think that the Lord allows us to come up certain ways so that we can have the proper foundation again, so that we'll be
Absolutely.
able. So again, growing up with your sisters and a musical family, you mentioned, of course, singing since four. Do you really think that that was preparation for what God had in store for you? Because, of course, nothing is by accident and nothing is by happenstance. And
Tell you.
again, just, I always think that family groups have a certain harmonies that, can't be replicated by
Right.
other people that just get together and say, hey, we're going to sing a song. So,
Right.
again, talk about that familial connection and the impact it has had on your life's work in ministry.
Let me tell you, like you said, there is nothing that happens by chance. And so just I talk to my sisters like 10 times a day, and they are so it's ecstatic for me. And the most recent conversation we had about this is my own two sisters are like, we really think we did virtue for you because God knew your heart and he knew, us as a family. We love to be together. It's no big, it's not, we'll do whatever to be together. Now, I'm not saying that they didn't want a career in music, because they still love singing and they love ministry. And anytime we get a gig to do something, absolutely. But I know for sure that it was God setting this up for me, because it's what I prayed for. It's specifically what I prayed for. If you talk to Heather, she'll tell you, oh, no, ma'am, I never wanted to be a part of the industry. God specifically spoke to me and said, you're going to do this right now. And she stopped what she was doing. Ebony has always wanted to be the teacher that she is. So she never really stopped her teaching. It's just that she's had great people that she's worked with that has allowed her to, even while she was in college, and the end of her being graduating and everything, they would let her leave. And because I stopped in my first year at Oakwood because I was the youngest in the group. But I know for certain God did not do this by accident. And I don't think we're finished as a group. I think we have another few songs in us, if I'm honest. But at the moment, I think God really wanted me to believe in myself, because sometimes when you are in a group, it's easy to get labeled as, just a group. And so if you try and step out, it's a little frightening. It's a lot different, even down to doing interviews by myself. But I never truly really believed that I could do it. And so when he gave me the gifting to do it 11 years ago, I did it. And I didn't quit, but it didn't do what I thought it could. And so I was like, oh, shucks, I failed. Not realizing that, no, I didn't fail. You absolutely reached your goal. You wrote 18 songs in 3 months and you released a whole solo CD. You won. It's just not time. You're not done winning. So I need you to get back in. So 11 years ago, it was a long time ago to release solo music. So I really thought that it was over. I really did. And not over as a sense as my life is ended. I just didn't know if music could do what it did back then for me, and I didn't know how that was going to transpire. I didn't know any details. I just trusted God completely to walk me through every door. And that's been my story. That's been my life. And so when I asked God, help me believe in myself, this is what he did. He's like, oh, okay. That's what if you believe in yourself, then I can work with you. But if you don't, then, we're not going to get past the front door. And so until I started really, truly believing that I could accomplish, and accomplish being a solo artist again, or even establish, whichever word works best. But I really had to believe, I had to I had basically put on blinders, to put on the horses so they won't see all the extra stuff to make them go crazy. I literally had to put on blinders. And so I still have on blinders. And because I want to stay focused on what he asked me next. I'm the mom of a 16-year-old and she's watching every single thing I do. So my faith is imperative to my walk. And, you know, even getting her through the doors that she wants to walk through, and because she's very, very talented. The girl is talented. She can sing, she can play the ukulele. She's taught herself all these things, and she sells beautiful artwork. You know, as of late, she's going to be in Drake's dressing room in his new nightclub in Toronto. She was commissioned to put a piece, like, that's her talent. Like, it was total gift. She's never taken a lesson or anything. And so I'm like, God, continue to pour in me that I may pour into my child, you know, help me fulfill my dreams so I can fund her dreams. So yeah, it's like an ongoing cycle, you know, it's never ending, it's never stopping. So I'm just grateful, and I want to see where God leads me next. I am like an open book for him, and I'm an open vessel, willing to be used in whatever capacity he wants me.
You made this so easy. Karima, we're so excited. This has been nothing short of fun. I am so appreciative, and thank you for all of this. Again, tell us how we can connect with you via social media.
I am on Instagram at Karima Trotter, Karima Trotter, Trotter. That's my main page, and it actually is connected to my Facebook page as well. And there's like, because I was on Facebook years and years ago as Karima Kibble, you know, married to a Kibble, I kind of like left it as Karima Kibble. So if you type in Karima, there are not a whole lot of us, I will pop up, but definitely on Instagram. And then, you know, the Music Redeemer, you can find it on any outlet that's streaming. I made Deezer, Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, you name it, YouTube Music, it's all there. So I'm looking forward to the next, we have more music coming as well. So you guys just stay tuned, and I'll be posting all that stuff on my Instagram page. I go live there a lot too. So it's a lot of fun. So join me.
Fantastic, fantastic. Karima, thank you for this time. We are excited again about all the Lord has been doing through you, and we're looking for him to continue to do even more. So thank you again. God bless you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you.
All right,
thank
we'll
you so
talk
much.
again soon. Be blessed.
Absolutely. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The very same God that spins things in orbit runs to the weary, the worn, and the weak, and the same gentle hands that hold me when I'm broken, they conquer death to bring me victory. Now I know my Redeemer lives. I know my Redeemer lives. Let all creation testify. Let this life within me cry. I know my Redeemer, he lives to take away my shame, and he lives.
Listen, we appreciate everybody for tuning in on tonight. Listen, we cannot do this without you all. We so grateful. I ain't gonna do it. Hey, we appreciate everybody from tuning in. Hey, we appreciate everybody for tuning in to end the spotlight tonight. Listen, we cannot do this show without you guys, our viewers. We thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you are on week in and week out. We're going up in a major way, and we can't do it without you. Always remember, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Kerry Douglas's YouTube channel. Make sure you follow, do whatever you got to follow, add, subscribe. Make sure you do it on all social media platforms. That is Kerry Douglas. Look out for that neck, Kerry Douglas. Make sure you follow that on all social media platforms. Listen, until next week, I'll holler at you. See you. Peace. Listen, love. Pete. I feel like Soul Train right there. I almost went right into it. Listen, make sure you protect your peace, protect your energy, and guess what? This weekend, go ahead and be great. I love you. See you next week. Peace.